Hi everyone, it's Thursday, Template Thursday, and today we will make a card using a template to help us with our design. So often when I'm designing a card, I can't decide the layout, so a template really helps me. It gives me a guideline of how I'm going to lay out my card and makes it super easy. So let's get started with today's card. So today's template is laid out right here for you to see, and that just helps guide me to come up with the layout for this card. I really just need to think about what I want on the card, and that's why I love templates. A lot of people ask me, well, where do you get templates? There's tons of them out there, and people post them all the time. Just type in card templates, and you'll find tons of them online to be a way to help you get started. But then again, you could always use my template every Thursday and then post a picture of the card that you made using it. I would really love to share that with many of my customers. It's a great way to get you going and not get caught up in how am I going to lay this out, because sometimes too many choices make it hard to make a design work. So I'm going to set our template aside, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what we'll be using. We are going to be using this beautiful autumn set that I've used a lot. Last week we used the punches. This will be the only punch we're going to use from that trio, but if you buy the stamp and the punches together, you get 10% off. We'll also be using the Everyday Label punch, which I use quite a bit, and Itty Bitty Greetings because they fit in so nicely. You can just pop in a sentiment and punch it right out. We'll also be using these three colors, Cherry Cobbler, Cajun Craze, and Mossy Meadow for our card. And we'll be using all of these supplies that are listed right here. 8.5 by 5.5 piece of Very Vanilla cardstock, which I'm going to take out and already add my backing to it because nothing has to go on it, so I might as well get that on there and let that sit while we work on our card. I'm going to line that right up and get it on there and use my bone folder to sort of make sure it adheres well. Set that aside. I have pre-cut some cardstock, Very Vanilla cardstock, 5.5 by 2.5, and then a Cajun Craze piece that's 5.5 by 2 3/4. And this is where we're going to do all our stamping. We'll also have a scrap piece for our sentiment, but right now let's concentrate on this part right here. So one of the things I like to show people when I use this set is how easy it is to stamp and get different colors. I think I've showed this to you before, but it never hurts to show it again. So when I'm using this set, it's really nice because it comes with a lined drawing and then also the inside. And I'm going to get a scrap piece of paper so you can see it. I can get with this stamp 3 different values, probably even 4 if I wanted to. 1, 2, 3. You can just barely see 4. So by having one stamp, I can have different color combinations. So today I'm going to be stamping off to the second color to get the lines within my little piece. And I am going to stamp this first and the line on top. So to do that, I am going to ink it first, stamp once on a scrap piece of paper, and then stamp here. See how much lighter that is? I realize that's wasteful, just stamping on another piece of paper, but It works for me. And I can rotate my stamp. I don't have to go in the same direction every single time. I'm also going to need a couple leaves here, so I'm going to use this scrap piece of paper. I may have to get some more scrap paper for the rest of the card, but that's okay. We'll just find something. Oh, here's some. I'll use this piece because I think that'll work. Again, 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to use my cherry cobbler to go on the line over the original stamped areas. And it's pretty easy to see what I stamped underneath if I just line it up. Okay, so let's do these now. They're not perfect, but so is, no card is ever perfect. Perfection means you probably won't get it done. Okay, so now I've got all the leaves I need. I am going to stamp my sentiment on the scrap piece of paper while I have it out. I'm not going to worry too much about getting it straight because I can always use my punch to help me later. But I am going to close this, and I'm going to pull out my little leaves from the set. See these little, I think they look like coffee beans. And I'm just going to stamp them cascading down in between. And I already got a pretty nice looking little layout just with that. Now something I noticed is that I stamped it with cherry cobbler. And in this card I stamped it with Cajun Craze. So I think I'm going to go back and restamp that. But that means I have to clean off my stamp a little bit and then get my Cajun Craze out. And now, as soon as I'm done with this, everything else is going to get done with my punches to help me get my card put together. I love that. So I'm going to go ahead and punch this out by looking through here. And I can set my punch away. And now I'm going to use this on these little leaves that I had cut out earlier. I punched earlier. It stamped earlier. It took me 3 tries to get the words out. Something happens when I'm in the studio. My brain just gets so engaged. I have a hard time getting words out. Does that ever happen to you? Can't see it right now, but my tongue is hanging out and I'm all excited about what I'm doing because I'm engaged creatively. I'm going to put my small dimensionals on these, and then I'm going to get my card put together and I'll be done. Oops, it would help if you put it on the right side. Luckily that didn't stick too hard. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to put a couple on here. I think I'm going to put 3 on here just because this is very thin and can use a little support. Okay, so the next step is to glue this to my Cajun Craze. And then I'm going to wrap my ribbon around, but my ribbon isn't really big enough to go around, so I am going to take and make my knot here. And then just tie it off. Pull it. I can use a pair of scissors to adjust my ribbon to the way I want it, except for I need to get a good pair of scissors because these are old. they are not Stampin' Up. They don't seem to sit just right. I'm going to put that across there, flip it over, use my new Stampin' Seal. And before I attach that, I'm going to make sure that it's sitting right. I always like to make sure that it's straight across. Okay, my card is almost done. I probably could put some things on the inside if I wanted to, too. I'm going to glue that down. This is when I like to use my bone folder, just to make sure it adheres. And then I'm going to scatter these in different spots. Where's my pokey tool when I need it? I love this because I take this whole little pile of papers right to the trash can, and they're not all over my desk. They seem to multiply when they leave my area. So I'm going to toss these a little bit so that they're not exactly in the same direction as the cards, just to make it a little bit more fun. Okay, and now, ooh, looks like I never got that one. I'm just going to put my sentiment on here, and my card is done. Isn't that fun? Such a simple card, all based on this wonderful little template that I got online. I hope you had a great day, and I hope you been making some nice cards. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for my Fast Friday card. I have a great card for you for that. But thank you for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow at 1. Have a great day.